Welcome back. Let's read this one.
Boeing 737 Next Generation. The Boeing 737 Next Generation, commonly abbreviated as 737ing, or 737 Next Gen, is a twin-engine narrow-body aircraft produced by Boeing Commercial Airplanes. Launched in 1993 as the third-generation derivative of the Boeing 737, it has been produced since 1997. The 737ing is an upgrade of the 737 Classic, 300/400/500 series. Compared to the 737 Classic, it has a redesigned wing with a larger area, a wider wingspan, greater fuel capacity, and higher maximum takeoff weights, (MTO), and longer range. It has CFM International CFM 56-7 series engines, a glass cockpit, and upgraded and redesigned interior configurations. The series includes 4 variants: the 600/700/800/900, seating between 108 and 215 passengers. The 737's primary competition is the Airbus A320 family. As of February 2024, a total of 7,124 737 aircraft had been ordered, of which 7,109 had been delivered, with remaining orders for 2-800 and 13-800 variants. The most ordered variant was the 737-800, with 4,991 commercial, 191 military, and 23 corporate, or a total of 5,205 aircraft. Boeing stopped assembling commercial 737ings in 2019 and made the final deliveries in January 2020. The 737ing is superseded by the fourth-generation 737 MAX, introduced in 2017. Development, edit. Background, edit. When regular Boeing customer United Airlines bought the more technologically advanced Airbus A320 with fly-by-wire controls, this prompted Boeing to update the slower, shorter-range 737 Classic variants into the more efficient, longer new generation variants. In 1991, Boeing initiated development of an updated series of aircraft. After working with potential customers, the 737 Next Generation, ING, program was announced on the 17th of November, 1993. Testing, edit. The first ING to roll out was a 737-700, on the 8th of December, 1996. This aircraft, the 2,843 Road 737 built, first flew on the 9th of February, 1997, with pilots Mike Hewitt and Ken Higgins. The prototype 737-800 rolled out on the 30th of June, 1997, and first flew on the 31st of July, 1997, piloted by Jim McRoberts and again by Hewitt. The smallest of the new variants, the 600 series, is identical in size to the 500, launching in December 1997 with an initial flight occurring the 22nd of January 1998. It was granted FAA certification on the 18th of August 1998. The flight test program used 10 aircraft, 3-600S, 4-700S, and 3-800S. Enhancements, edit. In 2004, Boeing offered a short field performance package in response to the needs of GOL transports areas, which frequently operates from restricted airports. The enhancements improved takeoff and landing performance. The optional package is available for the 737ing models and standard equipment for the 737-900. In July 2008, Boeing offered Messier Bugatti out his new carbon brakes for the next-gen 737S, which are intended to replace steel brakes and will reduce the weight of the brake package by 5,700 pounds, 253.20 kg, depending on whether standard or high-capacity steel brakes were fitted. A weight reduction of 700 pounds, 320 kilograms, on a 737 to 800 results in 0.5% reduction in fuel burn. Delta Airlines received the first next-gen 737 model with this brake package, a 737-700, at the end of July 2008. The CFM56-7B Evolution nacelle began testing in August 2009 to be used on the new 737 PIP Performance Improvement Package, due to enter service mid-2011. This new improvement is said to shave at least 1% off the overall drag and have some weight benefits. Overall, it is claimed to have a 2% improvement on fuel burn on longer stages. Enhanced Short Runway Package, Edit. This short field design package is an option on the 737-600, -700, and -800 and is standard equipment for the new 737-900. These enhanced short runway versions could increase pay or fuel loads when operating on runways under 5,000 feet, 1,500 m. Landing payloads were increased by up to 8,000 pounds on the 737-800 and 737-900 and up to 4,000 pounds on the 737-600 and 737-700. Takeoff payloads were increased by up to 2,000 pounds on the 737-800 and 737-900 and up to 400 pounds on the 737-600 and 737-700. The package includes 1. A winglet lift credit, achieved through additional winglet testing, that reduces the minimum landing approach speeds. 2. Takeoff performance improvements such as the use of sealed leading edge slats on all takeoff flap positions, allowing the airplane to climb more rapidly on shorter runways. 3. A reduced idle thrust transition delay between approach and ground idle speeds, which improves stopping distances and increases field length limited landing weight. 4. Increased flight spoiler deflection from 30 degrees to 60 degrees, improving aerodynamic braking on landing. 5. A two-position tail skid at the rear of the aircraft to protect against inadvertent tail strikes during landing, which allows higher aircraft approach attitudes and lower landing speeds. The first enhanced version was delivered to GOL Transport's areas, GOL, on the 31st of July 2006. At that time, 12 customers had ordered the package for more than 250 airframes. Customers include GOL, Alaska Airlines, Air Europa, Air India, Egyptair, GE Commercial Aviation Services, JCAS, Hapag-Fly, Japan Airlines, Pegasus Airlines, Ryanair, Sky Airlines and Turkish Airlines. Structural problems, edit. In 2005, 3 ex-Boeing employees filed a lawsuit on behalf of the U.S. government, claiming that dozens of 737 contained defective structural elements supplied by airframe manufacturer Ducommun, allegations denied by Boeing. The federal judge presiding the case sided with Boeing, and a subsequent court of appeal also ruled in favor of the company. A 2010 documentary by Al Jazeera alleged that in 3 crashes involving 737ings, Turkish Airlines Flight 1951, American Airlines Flight 331, and Aries Flight 8250. The fuselage broke up following impact with the ground because of the defective structural components that were the subject of the 2005 lawsuit. However, the accident investigations in all three cases did not highlight any link between post-impact structural failures and manufacturing issues. During an inspection of a 737 in 2019 that had 35,000 flights, fatigue cracks were found on a fuselage to wing attachment known as a pickle fork, designed to last a lifetime of 90,000 flights. Boeing reported the issue to the FAA at the end of September 2019, and more planes showed similar cracking after inspection. The cracks were found in an airliner with more than 33,500 flights, when it was stripped down for conversion to freighter. Aircraft with more than 30,000 flights, 15 years at 2,000 flights per year, should be inspected within 1 week, while those with over 22,600 flights, 11 years, should be inspected within 1 year. The FAA Airworthiness Directive, AD, was issued on the 3rd of October 2019. Of the 500 first inspected aircraft, 5%, 25, had cracks and were grounded. Boeing expected to repair the first aircraft 3 weeks after the issuance of the directive, serving as the template for the resulting service bulletin. Of the 810 examined aircraft over 30,000 cycles, 38 had structural cracks, 4.7%, leaving 1,911 737ings over 22,600 cycles to be inspected within their next 1,000 cycles, i.e., nearly all of the U.S. in-service fleet of 1,930. By early November, 1,200 aircraft were inspected, with cracks on about 65%. Cracks were discovered near fasteners outside the original area in 4 airplanes. On November the 5th, Boeing recommended expanding the checks to include them, to be mandated in the 13th of November FAA-AD. Aircraft below 30,000 cycles were to be re-inspected within 1,000 cycles, within 60 days above. About 1/4 of the global ING fleet of 6,300 aircraft were to be inspected. Following the contained engine failure of the Southwest Airlines Flight 1380 on the 17th of April, 2018, the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, recommended on the 19th of November, 2019, to redesign and retrofit its nacelle for the 6,800 airplanes in service. Production, edit. Boeing was to increase 737 production from 31.5 units per month in September 2010 to 35 in January 2012 and to 38 units per month in 2013. Production rate was 42 units per month in 2014, and was planned to reach rates of 47 units per month in 2017 and 52 units per month in 2018. In 2016, the monthly production rate was targeted to reach 57 units per month in 2019, even to the factory limit of 63 units later. A single airplane was then produced in the Boeing Renton factory in 10 days, less than half what it was a few years before. The empty fuselage from Spirit Aerosystems in Wichita, Kansas, enters the plant on day 1. Electrical wiring is installed on day 2 and hydraulic machinery on day 3. On day 4 the fuselage is crane lifted and rotated 90 degrees. Wings are mated to the airplane in a 6-hour process, along with landing gear, and the airplane is again rotated 90 degrees. The final assembly process begins on day 6 with the installation of airline seats, galleys, lavatories, overhead bins, etc. Engines are attached on day 8 and it rolls out of the factory for test flights on day 10. Boeing stopped assembling passenger 737ings in 2019. The last aircraft assembled was a 737-800 registered PHBCL delivered to KLM in December 2019. The last two deliveries were to China Eastern Airlines on the 5th of January 2020. Production of the P-8 Poseidon variant continues. The FAA has proposed a fine of approximately $3.9 million for Boeing's alleged installation of the same faulty components of the 737 MAX on some 133 737ings. Further developments, edit. See also, Boeing Yellowstone Project and Boeing 737 MAX. From 2006, Boeing discussed replacing the 737 with a clean sheet design, internally named Boeing Y1, that could follow the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. A decision on this replacement was postponed, and delayed into 2011. In 2011, Boeing launched the 737 MAX, an updated and re-engined version of the 737ing with more efficient CFM International LEAP 1B engines, and aerodynamic changes with distinctive split-tip winglets. The first 737 MAX performed its first flight in January 2016. The fourth generation 737 MAX supersedes the third generation 737ing. Design, edit. The wing was redesigned with a new thinner airfoil section, and a greater chord and increased wingspan. By 16 feet, 4.9 m, increased the wing area by 25%, which also increased total fuel capacity by 30%. New quieter and more fuel-efficient CFM 56-7B engines are used. Higher MTOWs are offered. The 737ing includes redesigned vertical stabilizers, and winglets are available on most models. The 737ing encompasses the -600, -700, -800, and -900 with improved performance and commonality retained from previous 737 models. The wing, engine, and fuel capacity improvements combined increase the 737's range by 900 nautical miles, mi, 1,700 kilometers, 1,000 mi, to over 3,000 mi, 5,600 kilometers, 3,500 mi, permitting transcontinental service. The speed trim system, introduced on the 737 Classic, has been updated for the 737ing to include a stall identification function. Originally inhibited in high alpha scenarios, STS operates at any speed on the 737ing. STS is triggered by airspeed sensor and commands airplane nose down as the airplane slows down. Interior, edit. The flight deck was upgraded with modern avionics, and passenger cabin improvements similar to those on the Boeing 777, including more curved surfaces and larger overhead bins than previous generation 737s. The next generation 737 interior was also adopted on the Boeing 757-300. This improved on the previous interior of the Boeing 757-200 and the Boeing 737 Classic variants. The new interior became optional on the 757-200. In 2010, new interior options for the 737ing included the 787-style Boeing Sky interior. It introduced new pivoting overhead bins, a first for a Boeing narrow-body aircraft, new sidewalls, new passenger service units, and LED mood lighting. Boeing's newer space bins can carry 50% more than the pivoting bins, thus allowing a 737-800 to hold 174 carry-on bags. Boeing also offered it as a retrofit for older 737ing aircraft. Variants, edit. 737-600, edit. The 737-600 was launched by SAS in March 1995, with the first aircraft delivered in September 1998. A total of 69 have been produced, with the last aircraft delivered to WestJet in 2006. Boeing displayed the 737-600 in its price list until August 2012. The 737-600 replaces the 737-500 and is similar to the Airbus A318. Winglets were not an option. WestJet was to launch the -600 with winglets, but dropped them in 2006. 737-700, edit. In November 1993, Southwest Airlines launched the Next Generation program with an order for 63 737-700s and took delivery of the first one in December 1997. It replaced the 737-300, typically seating 126 passengers in two classes to 149 in all-economy configuration, similar to the Airbus A319. In long-range cruise, it burns 4,440 pound, 2,010 kilograms, per hour at Mach 0.785, 450 kN, 834 kilometers per hour, and floor 410 increasing to 4,6 24,752 pound, 2,096 2,155 kilogram, at Mach 0.80 Mach 0.82, 459 470 kN, 85871 km /h. As of July 2018, all -700 series on order, 1,128 -700, 120 -700 BBJ, 20-700C, and 14-700W aircraft, have been delivered. By June 2018, around 1,000 were in service, half of them with Southwest Airlines, followed by WestJet with 56 and United Airlines with 39. The value of a new -700 stayed around $35 million from 2008 to 2018. A 2003 aircraft was valued for $15.5 million in 2016 and $12 million in 2018 and will be scrapped for $6 million by 2023. The 737-700C is a convertible version where the seats can be removed to carry cargo instead. There is a large door on the left side of the aircraft. The United States Navy was the launch customer for the 737-700C under the military designation C-40 Clipper. 737-700, edit. Boeing launched the 737-700, extended range, on the 31st of January, 2006, with All Nippon Airways as the launch customer. Inspired by the Boeing business jet, it features the fuselage of the 737-700 and the wings and landing gear of the 737-800. When outfitted with 9 auxiliary fuel tanks, it can hold 10,707 US gallons, 40,530 L, 8,915 imp.gal, of fuel with a 171,000 pound, 78,000 kilograms, tow, but with a cargo payload capacity significantly decreased from 966 to 165 cubic feet, 27.4 to 4.7 m, trading payload for increased range of 5,775 mi, 10,695 kilometers, 6,646 mi. The first was delivered on the 16th of February, 2007, to ANA with 24 business class and 24 premium economy seats only. A 737-700 can typically accommodate 126 passengers in two classes. It is similar to the Airbus A319LR. 737-800, edit. The Boeing 737-800 is a stretched version of the 737-700. It replaced the 737-400 and competes primarily with the Airbus A320. The 737-800 seats 162 passengers in a two-class layout or 189 passengers in a one-class layout. The 737-800 was launched on the 5th of September, 1994. Launch customer Hapag-Lloyd Flug, now 2E Fly Deutschland, received the first one in April, 1998. Following Boeing's merger with McDonnell Douglas, the 737-800 also filled the gap left by Boeing's decision to discontinue the McDonnell Douglas MD-80 and MD-90 aircraft. For many airlines in the U.S., the 737-800 replaced aging Boeing 727-200 tri-jets. The 737-800 burns 850 U.S. gallons, 3,200 L, of jet fuel per hour, about 80% of the fuel used by an MD-80 on a comparable flight, while carrying more passengers. The Airline Monitor, an industry publication, quotes a 737-800 fuel burn of 4.88 U.S. gal, 18.5 L, per seat per hour, compared to 5.13 U.S. gal, 19.4 L, for the A320. In 2011, United Airlines, flying a Boeing 737-800 from Houston to Chicago, operated the first U.S. commercial flight powered by a blend of algae-derived biofuel and traditional jet fuel to reduce its carbon footprint. In early 2017, a new 737-800 was valued at $48.3 million, falling to below $47 million by mid-2018. By 2025, a 17-year-old 737-800W will be worth $9.5 million and leased for $140,000 per month. As of May 2019, Boeing had delivered 4,979 737-800s, 116 737-800s, and 21 737-800 BBJ2s, and has 12 737-800 unfilled orders. The 737-800 is the best-selling variant of the 737 and is the most widely used narrow-body aircraft. Ryanair, an Irish low-cost airline, is among the largest operators of the Boeing 737-800, with a fleet of over 400 of the -800 variant serving routes across Europe, Middle East, and North Africa. 737-800 BCF, edit. In February 2016, Boeing launched a passenger-to-freighter conversion program, with converted aircraft designated as 737-800 BCF, for Boeing Converted Freighter. Boeing started the program with orders for 55 conversions, with the first converted aircraft due for late 2017 delivery. The first converted aircraft was delivered to West Atlantic in April 2018. At the 2018 Farnborough Air Show, CHCAS announced an agreement for 20 firm orders and 15 option orders for the 737-800 BCF, raising the commitment to 50 aircraft. Total orders and commitments include 80 aircraft to over half a dozen customers. Since early 737ing aircraft become available on the market, they have been actively marketed to be converted to cargo planes via the Boeing converted freighter design because the operational economics are attractive due to the low operating costs and availability of certified pilots on a